Hey guys, Cheesette Cowan, CEO of Real Estate here. Excited to talk to the new realtors, newbies. Hey, excited to talk to you about a few common mistakes that I see new agents make, and I want to help you avoid them because I love new agents and I love working with the real estate agents to help them grow their business systematically, strategically, so they can be and do everything that God has called them to do and make the impact that God has called them to make. So, mistake number one, and take it with a grain of salt. But mistake number one is trying to implement too much too fast. We get really excited because we go to conferences. We get really excited because we go to different events and we see all of this information and 30 things that you can do to grow your business. And we come back to the lab and we try to implement all 30. Oh my God, I know because I've done it. Don't do that. That is a mistake. Every time, that will give you the feeling of being overwhelmed every single time. You will always feel like I'm not doing enough. I haven't done this. I haven't done that, because you cannot execute everything at once. You can only execute one, maybe two things at once, but you cannot execute everything at once. And a lot of times what happens is you get overwhelmed. If you listen to my previous video, I tell you that your brain is designed to protect you from overwhelm. So it will not let you implement 5 things at once. What's going to happen is it's going to shut down. And then you're not going to implement anything. So then you feel like, well, the training was a waste. No, it wasn't. So even with our membership, I could definitely release more than one new content a week for the members. I'm not going to do that because I don't ever want them to be overwhelmed trying to implement everything. And then when I do release training and content, I try to make it layer upon one another so that you're getting more into the skill set that I gave you first and just getting better at it than doing something new altogether. So that's number one. You can, if you ever go to conferences, trainings, whatever, write everything down. We call it, and my friend Dee Dee helped me understand, it's a parking lot. Write everything down. Write all the ideas down. Write all the things that you want to implement down in a parking lot. And just like you park your car and you come back to it when you're ready for it, park it there, pick 1 or 2 that you're going to implement and leave everything else in the parking lot. We'll come back to it when we're ready, right? The second thing that I see a lot of new agents do is I'm gonna leave that for last. The second thing that I see a lot of new agents do is they switch up the plays too much. Let me tell you what that means. Do you understand that, and I'm always going to use football, in a championship game, when they're going to the Super Bowl, they're not switching up the plays. See, what happens with realtors is we decide, and if you are in my membership program, you already know, we only lead generate by 3 or 4 things. We do that for the year. We don't change. We don't switch up the plays. Why don't you switch up the plays? Because if you switch up the plays, you're going to get in the way of your consistency. See, consistency is the key to the breakthrough. When you stop and you keep switching up the plays, what you're doing is interrupting consistency. When you interrupt consistency, you never get to momentum. If you never get to momentum, you never get to a space where it just works over and over and over again because you've built up speed. Let me give you an example of what that means. And I love this scenario. Don't remember where I got it from. Not mine, but I love it. What happens with momentum is if you take a train out of the track and the train is going 25 miles an hour and it hits a 5-pound brick wall, the wall is going to stop it. Just think of the wall as your resistance. You're going to meet resistance. When it meets a 5-pound brick wall, it's going to stop it. But what happens when you build up speed? And now, instead of coming out at 25, you're on the track a little longer. So now you make it to 100. That brick wall doesn't stand a chance against a train going 100 miles an hour. Because what's going to happen is when the train hits the wall, bam, it's going to knock the wall out. If you ever seen a train, when the train gets up to a certain speed, it has to taper down speed. It cannot just stop immediately without jumping the tracks. So any opposition, anything that you're struggling with, if you are consistent, the momentum will knock it down every time. When I see a lot of new agents struggle, I'm like, you're struggling because you won't be consistent. But you won't be consistent because somebody along the lines has told you that you got to try this. You don't get great by doing 100 things. You get great by doing one thing 100 times, not 100 things one time. We want to door knock this week, cold call next week, go to events this week, do marketing next week. You can't figure out the top 3 to 4 things that you're going to do to grow your business and do it for the year. Every quarter, strategize on how to be more effective in that thing, but don't change the play. That's like me going in, or that's like a football player going into the Super Bowl and the praise that we've been practicing all year. You know what? We're not going to do that play. We're going to do this play. We ain't practice it. We don't know it. We ain't strategize on it. We don't have time on task over time on it. So how are we going to be successful in it? Help me understand that. That's a lot of mistakes that I see a lot of new agents make. And I think it happens it happens because of number 3. But it happens a lot of times because there's nobody there telling you this. So that's mistake number 3. You got to invest in a coach. You have to invest in a coach. You have to invest in a coach. And it don't have to be me. I'm not for everybody. I'm not going to be everybody's coach. I get that. My one-on-one coaching is limited anyway. But here's the thing. You have to invest in coaching because somebody has to tell you what to focus on. Somebody has to run the play for you. Somebody has to help you understand when you're running the play, how to be more effective at it. And that person, I'm going to be honest with you, people that are good at what they do, that strategize, and they spend a lot of money to get that way. I spent a lot. I have spent a minimum of 6 figures on coaching, investing in myself. But when I said a lot of new agents make this mistake, they see coaching as a cost, not an investment. See, the Bible says that we reap what we sow. See, when you invest in coaching, you're not paying the coach. You're investing in your future. You're investing in your skill set, which means you have a right to a return on your skill set. We get into these spaces where we think everything is going to be free. And guess what? Things that are really valuable are not free. I'm going to say that again. Things that are really, really valuable are never free. If it was free, it's not valuable. I have reached a point, and this is where the mind renewal comes in. I have reached a point in my life where, no lie, I was talking to this lady, and I was talking to her about buying something from her, and she said, I'm going to put it on sale for $5. I said, I don't want it. I don't want it. She said, why? That's a deal. Well, it ain't good then. Because if it was that good, you ain't giving it out for $5. If you really put your blood, sweat, and tears in it, you ain't giving it out for $5. Do you think you're going to ever see a Rolls Royce on sale? You don't even see Rolls Royce commercials. They don't even feel the need to attend to your subconscious like that. They already know what they're working with. They already know the value. And here's the thing. A lot of times we come into these spaces, we don't know our value. So we discount our price, and that shows up in the listing. That's why we got MLS listings. They got commission for 2%. My listings ain't going to be 2%. They're going to all be what I feel like my value is and what I feel like the value of the other agents in the industry is. And I'm always going to live by that because I stand by my value. But I stand by my value because I had coaches and people that invested in me. Every time and here's another thing. Every time I change coaches, because I've had coaches that were helping me with sales. When I got really good at sales, then I needed to learn a little bit more about running a team. So I got a different coach to talk to me about running a team. When I got into running the team, then I discovered I needed some mindset reset. So I got a coach to help me with my mindset. And a lot of times, based on what's going on in your life and business, you will change coaches. But I think you need to spend at least 6 months with a coach is really good before a lot of times you'll grow and develop and elevate to the next level and need a higher level of coaching. But here's what you have to understand. Even the best players, I talk about Tom Brady a lot, love Tom Brady, but you got to remember, when we think of Tom Brady, we think of Bill Belichick. It's the coach and the player. It's the coach and the player. Because the player can go out and play, but understand that while they're playing, they don't understand everything that's going on around them because they're in the game, head in the game. They're playing the game. See, it's the coach's job when the play is over to say, hey, here's what you did right. Look at this video. This is what you did wrong. This is where we need to tighten it up at. Here's the plan for getting this right. A lot of new agents are not getting to the next level because it takes you 3 years before you decide you need a coach. At that time, you know how much money you left on the table? I hired a coach because I'm like, listen, here's my sales. I'm going to give you 6 months and I'm going to see where I'm at. My income doubled. And I told you the story. My first coach was Matt Sutter. It was a group coaching program. And I paid for it when I didn't even have the money. I didn't even know what I was doing. This is all Holy Spirit. I didn't even know what I was doing. When I paid, the lady said, I said, what happens when I sign up today? She said, it's going to be 2 or 3 months before we charge your card. I said, cool. I'm going to have it before then. And here's the thing, I didn't know that it was a year, I believe. I didn't know if I was going to have it for the whole year. I knew I was going to have it for 1, 2, or 3 months. And I said in that 3 months, everything that he's putting down, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to go run with it. And my income doubled. My income doubled. See, a lot of times it's not the activity, it's the evaluation, the effectiveness of the activity that's going to make you money. And you need a coach for that. So if you're a new agent, I'm not pitching you to be your coach. I have clients. I have a lot of coaching clients, right? So I'm not pitching you to be your coach. I'm telling you this because I think it's really important that somebody help you understand how to strategize and win. And this is something that had when I come into the industry, had I understood it a lot sooner, I wouldn't have spent my first year. And I think I was okay spending my first year kind of learning, but I wish I had somebody. Well, I did have a coach. I'm sorry. Take that back. I had a productivity coach through KW. It just wasn't paid for by me the way I've paid for other coaching, stroking a check for $1,500, $2,000 a month. So it wasn't that. It was included in my market center. And that was something that I greatly benefited from because he helped me understand what I was doing right, what I needed to strategize and be more effective on. So I'm a big proponent of coaching. So that's why when I started looking at different things, I was like, I really want to help people. But guess what? I spent a lot of money to learn the things that I learned. I invested in myself. And I believe that when people invest in themselves, they hear differently. They respond to what you tell them differently. And I'm just excited to have the opportunity to potentially partner with you. If you are looking for a membership platform that's going to help you grow your business, learn the skill sets, the strategies that you need to learn to increase your income, work less and do more income as far as revenue for your business, I love to have that conversation with you. Our CEO membership is open. But if you're looking for one-on-one coaching to literally double your income, and that's what one-on-one coaching should do. A year of one-on-one coaching should double your income. So if you're looking for that, both links are going to be in the bio. Click on it. Let's go. Let's get started. And here's the thing. Like I said, this is not a pitch for you. I know who I am. I know who God has called me to. The people that God has called me to, they're going to connect with me regardless of these videos or not. But I think whether it's me or somebody else, get into some type of coaching relationship and get into a relationship with a professional coach. It's great to have friends hold you accountable. I have that. But a coach is different. A coach is not just going to hold you accountable. They're going to demand results from you. They're going to ask you the questions and make you sit with the uncomfortableness of staying the same. I know because I got some good coaches. All right. Thank you guys. Click the link in the bio for more information.